Okie dokie, I'm TIGGA MAC and I'm back with another cake hack. Woo! Today we are going to be turning this mud cake, this store-bought mud cake, into this beautiful unicorn. So let's get started. Let's just quickly go through what you're going to need to make this cute little unicorn. First up, you're going to need a mud cake. So you can use a home-baked one. We're using a store-bought one because this is a hack. You also need a couple of bowls, a couple of spoons, a couple of piping bags to make your life easier. We've got some M&Ms or Smarties. You're only going to need 2 for the nostrils, so you can eat the rest. We're also going to use some edible confetti. You can use any type of sprinkle or you can not use any. This is just to jazz it up a little bit. Also, I'm also going to use a piping tip. This is piping tip 2D and this is to pipe the main. I will give you some alternatives for that if you don't have it. Palette knife, I'm using a small offset spatula, and a knife to cut your cake with. I've obviously got a huge cake knife, but you can use any knife to cut your cake. It's not a very big one. And I'm using some Colour Mill colours as well to colour my buttercream. And lastly, this little topper kit that I got from Coles. And these are the ears, the horn, and the eyes. All right, let's get started. Step 1, you're going to cut your mud cake. So let's get rid of this packaging. We've chosen a caramel mud cake flavour. Oh wow, I can smell it. Now you want to make your cut like off centre. So you can see here, I'm going to go about here. This is going to be the nose, this is going to be the face or the head. So you want to slice it down there. Now, one thing, I'm going to take that paper off. A little bit of advice. It's best to do this when the cake has come out of the fridge, nice and firm, because the softer and more room temp your cake is, the more chance that it's going to just fall apart and be really, really difficult to ice. Okay, so now we need, oh, I forgot something on the what you'll need list. Cake board. And I'm just having Katie in the background tell me that I've also forgotten the buttercream. You need buttercream. We're going well so far. Thank you, Katie. Buttercream, I've just got a bowl of my recipe that I've whipped up. You do not need that much. I've just done one batch and I will save the rest for another time. You can use store-bought. The main thing you want to think about is that you want it to be soft. We'll talk about that while I'm decorating our one, but the stiffer your buttercream, the harder it's going to be to decorate. So let's get into the decorating. You're going to get your cake board. I'm going to put a little bit of buttercream just straight on there. And that is going to hold your mud cake onto your cake board. Then you're going to grab the big one and it's going to go up on its side like so. And then the little one is going to go in front of that one and you're just going to squash them together. Squishy squash. So it looks like that. This is the shape of your unicorn. So let's get rid of this paper. Now from here, I'm just going to thin off the edges a little bit so we can have a nice unicorn shaped head. So I'm kind of cutting a little bit diagonal to make the nose look a little bit thinner than the head. I hope that makes sense. You're only losing like 2 mouthfuls of cake here and you can just eat those if you like. That's what you're left with, this shape. From there, we're going to get our turntable, which did I mention that's another thing that you need? Did I talk about the turntable?
I don't think so.
Turntable, I think, is one of the most important decorating tools that you could own. So if you're getting into cake decorating and you don't have one, get one, because it'll make your life a lot easier. Now, first things first, we want to do a crumb coat. I like to, with a cake like this, that might be a little bit crumbly, is put my buttercream into a piping bag. Look at this buttercream. Oh my God, it's so smooth and beautiful. I think that'll do for the crumb coat. We're going to do a crumb coat first. Thank you, Katie. Make sure you get rid of those little bits of plastic. They end up in the most annoying places. And we are just going to pipe like a small amount over the whole cake. And I just do in little squiggles like this. kind of hard to show you guys what I'm doing when I'm used to decorating facing me. You can see here I'm just putting the buttercream so that's got a small amount over the whole thing. And then using our palette knife, you could use a bigger one if you like. I just find this size cake, it's a little bit easier. Is you're just going to spread. You can see that my buttercream is very soft. And I have done this deliberately so that it doesn't pull any of the crumbs of the cake away and my cake doesn't fall apart. I know you can't really see that, but I can't. So you're just basically moving your way around the cake to get a nice coverage. The whole point of a crumb coat is to catch any crumbs and to get a nice smooth surface for your top coat to go on. So once this buttercream has been applied, this first coat, we're going to pop it in the freezer. You can do the fridge if you don't have a freezer that's suitable to hold a cake in. A lot of people don't. And you just want to chill it until it is firm enough. You know, it's firm to the touch. And this is your first coat, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but you don't want any big lumps or anything around because they will go hard and then they'll get in the way when you're doing your top coat. All right, so I think we're pretty much done. This is looking pretty good. So I'm just going to use a bit of paper towel and I'm just going to do a quick, just to gather that excess buttercream that has gathered on the board. So that's where we're at. Doesn't look like much yet, but bear with me. We're going to chuck this in the freezer for about 5 minutes. So I'll be back in a sec. Alrighty, so we've got our cake. It is chilled, firm to the touch. And we're going to do our second coat. Once again, exact same technique. Squiggle your buttercream over the entire thing. Once you've got it looking like that, we're just going to smooth this all back. And you can spend as much time on this bit as you want. It doesn't have to be perfect. I think a palette knife finish would still look really cute. Once you get this bit done, the rest of it comes together so quick. Now we just want to clean up the board because we're going to be doing some piping that's going to be on the board. So for that, I like to use a fresh, clean, damp cloth. You don't want one that you've been, you know, wiping your bench with or anything like that. And I'm just going to do a quick tidy up around the entire cake. There we go, it's looking pretty good. It's time to put our toppers in. So we're just going to pop that smack bang in the middle, like so. We're going to do our ears, and they are just going to go sort of at an angle all the way in so that they're basically like you can't see the what is it? Little skewer that they're sitting on. Like so. Already looking cute. Next up, we're going to pop, we can pop the eyes on now. Just going to pop one. Can't really see what I'm doing.
That's perfect.
One there and one. How's that?
Adorable.
Next, we're going to, here are our like M&M Smarties, whatever you want. We're going to use the brown ones for the nostrils. Just poke them in. How's that? Are they even?
Perfect.
Cool. Cute. And now, for my favourite bit, we're going to colour some buttercream to pipe the mane. So, I'm going to need our bowls. Let's just move this aside for a sec. You can pop right there. So, let's start with pink. I'm using Colour Mill Hot Pink. Give it a good shake. Squirt it in. Put as much in as you want for it, like however bright you want it. That's how much I've used. Give that a really good stir. You want to mix all of the colouring in. I'm going for a nice bright hot pink colour. Another thing I forgot to put on the you will need list is Glad Wrap. So now we've got the Glad Wrap out. We've got our pink mixed. And a lot of people put these into piping bags and then pipe them onto the Glad wrap. I think that's a waste of piping bags. You just need to spoon it on into a line, like so. You know, blobs, basically. Now, in that same bowl, I'm going to make the purple. You don't need very much, really, just a blob of, that's the measurement. I use that measurement a lot. A blob of buttercream, a squirt of Colourmill. This is, oh, sorry, that's purple, Colourmill purple. And with a little bit of hot pink in the bowl, it makes a really pretty purple colour. If you do want to buy some Colourmill, it's oil-based colouring, really, really good for Swiss meringue buttercreams. It works in ganaches as well, and chocolate. You can colour chocolate with it because it's oil-based, so it doesn't seize the chocolate. You can use our discount code, which is okidoki10, all caps. I'll put it right here. Moving on. We're going to add this to your Glad wrap in our little blobbies. And now moving on to the aqua. I'm using teal. Oh, look at that. Beautiful colours. And then you're just going to add that next to your purple, like so. And then you're going to roll it up. So you just basically like fold it in half. And then you keep going. And then I like to pinch the edges and just twirl it up. And then you've got a little bit of excess here. So all you do there is snip off that excess right up to the, so that you've got rid of all of that. I'm going to go to our piping bag and our nozzle, which is here. I'm using piping tip 2D. You could just use the piping bag without a nozzle and just cut it and just do, you know, like round swirls or whatever. You could also use a snap lock bag to put your piping on. We're going to take our Glad wrap colours and we're literally just going to put it right in, like that. And then slowly, I'm just going to put some pressure and try and get all the colours sort of come out the end. And I'm just going to do a little, can we see that?
Yes.
Look at that. Look at that. All right, so now all we're going to do is we're going to pipe a little bit on the front here. And then we're going to just keep going down the back. Now I'm going to bring the main sort of, I'm going to go diagonal down here so you can bring the main around the front. So just do a little bit of squiggly piping. This doesn't, there's no rhyme or reason to it. And see how I'm bringing the piping around the front. And then last but not least, our sprinkles. I'm using like a edible confetti. I'm just going to sprinkle that onto the main. How adorable is that? And there you go, our mud cake hack unicorn. If you do have a go at making this, please tag me on Instagram, TikTok, anywhere. I want to see all of your creations. I had a lot of fun with this. Thanks guys. If you enjoyed the video and you've stayed right to the end, thank you. Chuck us a like, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.